for example, we contribute over 85% of the funding that goes into NATO.
That's the name of it, NATO. I forgot the name of it.
And then they use that money for their benefit, but we don't get anything out of it as taxpayers. Should we be responsible for that?
You could fix something like that.
Well, it's the same thing with USAID, right?
Oh.
We fund a lot of propaganda over in other countries in order to indoctrinate them to think how we think.
If you want to be a superpower, you have to meddle in everything.
Start networks to stop raids and deportations with mass direct action, to keep ICE off of our campuses, out of our churches.
You know, the interesting part about it is that nobody cares about what you do sexually. You know what I'm saying? But they're very, very, very much resistant of people because it's a public space and I can do what I want. Who, my whole purpose? What's my purpose? What's my purpose?
Why are you here?
What is my purpose?
Why are you here?
You said it defeats my purpose. Because I can.
That's great.
And this is my city. I was born and raised here. I'm a taxpayer here, and it's a public space.
My whole life, pay taxes my whole life.
Good. And I'm happy. God bless you.
That's great.
So, anything else? No. Because I wasn't talking. I wasn't talking. Because it's a public space.
The problem with this whole argument so far is that you don't walk up to another man and basically threaten him or try to quiz him on what he's doing on public property like you're his daddy or something. That's number one. Because once you do that, you're already entering into disrespect zone. Now he has the authority and the ability really to say whatever he wants to you. That's the problem. You're trying to exercise your authority over him because you disagree with him. You say, why is he there? He's there because he's a grown man and he can be. What are you going to do about it? You're not going to do anything, and you didn't expect him to answer you like that. You didn't expect him to respond like that, like a man would. So you're a little shocked. Now you're like, oh, wow, I don't want to get in this conflict. He's there because he wants to be. However, if you have a problem with him being there, talk to him like a man. Treat him with some respect. But don't walk up to another grown adult and say, why are you there? I'm there because I want to be. What are you going to do about it? Do you want to debate him? Like, what's going to happen?
Right here.
Don't record me without my permission.
I don't need your permission.
Well, I'm asking you not to record.
And I'm recording you anyway. Don't touch me.
I'm not touching you.
Okay, good.
Oh, wow. This man feels so strong. Must be great. Not to have no problem. If you choose to do this.
Yep.
You choose to do this. I'm pretty sure you don't even read your own Bible if you do that.
How do you know I'm religious?
I mean, God bless you. All those things lead into it.
How do you know I'm religious?
I don't know. I'm just here to fuck with your show though. It's real fun. How you doing? Defend black people, pay reparations, defend.
We don't believe in reparations.
Please pay reparations to black people. Oh, a black man that don't believe in reparations in his own community? You don't believe in systemic things changing in your community? Do you actually pay reparations? I'm confused.
I don't believe in none of that. I'm a conservative.
Okay. Great.
So why would I believe in handouts? Y'all stealing taxpayer dollars.
How, Sway?
Because you want a handout.
How do I want a handout?
You want reparations. You didn't experience slavery?
No.
What slavery did you experience?
I know what generational wealth looks like and how it's robbed from my community.
What do you mean?
I said that you were personally right. Never said you were.
Bro, I hate this argument, bro. I hate it because if you got, bro, I'm an engineer. All we do is read data, read information, read. Everything is very, very, very logical in engineering. It's almost 100% logical. So we know how to research. We know what data looks like. They talk about generational wealth. The majority, not even just white people, the majority of humans don't have generational wealth. 99% of Americans do not have generational wealth. And let's get this straight. White people are like 60% of America, meaning if 99% of America don't have generational wealth, what does that mean about white people? They are the majority of America. The majority of white Americans do not have generational wealth. They do not have generational income given to their families. And the only reason I'm even bringing this up, the only reason I'm even passionate about this is because you're using it as a crutch to not only be defamatory against another set of people, you're using it as a crutch to hold yourself back. White people don't have generational wealth on average. Asian people don't have generational wealth on average. Black people don't have generational wealth on average. This is not even a race thing. This is just an economics thing. This is just common sense. Maybe if it was the freaking 1820s, maybe you can argue that the majority of white people had generational wealth. But in 2025, that is literally not the case. So stop using it as a crutch. And even when it comes to reparations, you do realize 40% of America is not white and had nothing to do with slavery. Will I have to pay taxes to my own reparations? How would that work? Nonetheless, let's continue.
You're not oppressed. You're not oppressed. You out here
I'm not arguing
freely.
with nobody that don't read books.
You out here freely doing books.
You don't believe in freedom of speech?
Huh?
You don't believe in freedom of speech?
I do.
So,
Nobody is trying to censor you. Who's censoring you?
but why are you trying to do this? This is like
The same reason that y'all are. This is a public space.
Yeah.
Oh, you see how tolerant he is? As soon as they don't like something, they start to call you names. I never called you out of your name. I never disrespected you. But see, this is the reason why liberals are in the position that they in. Because you don't know how to have a conversation. Anytime you get upset, you start to throw names. That means that you're unintelligent. And you a college student? And you a college student? That's unfortunate.
Yep, I am. Very educated.
All of a sudden, I'm no longer a brother because I don't agree with your ideologies.
I said you were a bootlicker.
I'm a bootlicker?
Yeah.
Oh, that is so mature of you.
I know. I'm not here to be mature.
That's not the important thing right now.
What's the important thing?
The important thing is people's rights, honey.
What rights don't you have?
It's not about me, it's about other people.
What
It's about the
rights
people-
don't other people have?
You mean like the people who are being disappeared off the streets?
What rights don't people have?
The right to live a free and happy and wholesome
You
life.
have the right to do whatever you want to do.
I'm not talking about myself here.
Anybody has the right to do what they want to do.
Even be a fascist.
You don't even know what fascism means. You're just talking. Listen, you are the least oppressed person in the face of the earth. You are a white woman in America. You are the person that benefited from diversity, equity, and inclusion the most. And you are out here doing nothing. You should be doing something productive with your life. You should be actually working, advocating, doing something for people.
Out, taking care of the man.
You should be doing something productive. You're not married? You don't have no children? Waste of space.
I am.
A complete waste of space, but yet you out here walking down the street, and guess what? If I didn't appear here, nobody would care about you.
Nobody cares about
And you know what's crazy about this whole debate? Black people are getting mad that DEI policies are disappearing and all this stuff. But you know what's funny? It was like 2 years ago. I remember this like it was yesterday. I was in a conference, and I'm not going to give too many details. But I was in a conference, and a hiring manager came to the conference. And he said that he's desperately looking for black students to come, and he's looking for them to hire them and all this stuff. But he said the biggest problem that he has with a lot of black students is that they just don't even apply for the roles. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because there are big narratives on getting rid of DEI and all this stuff. But then if you look at the numbers, look at Ivy League numbers, look at high-paying fields numbers, what percentage are black, what percentage come from these neighborhoods, we aren't even showing up to begin with. We aren't even applying for jobs that are looking for us to begin with. So when it comes to DEI, them getting rid of it, the reason why the big argument that it doesn't even help black people out is because we aren't even applying for the roles. We don't want the roles. That's why the big argument is that it doesn't help us. We don't even apply for it. So what is the big debate on getting rid of it? We aren't even applying for it. We aren't going out for the roles. We don't want it. Look at Ivy League statistics by race. We're not even top. We don't even have a 15% increase at any Ivy League in the country. Asian Americans are like 7% of America, and they're like 30% of Harvard. Something crazy. We are 14% of America. We aren't above 15% in any single Ivy League in the country. We aren't even applying. So get rid of it. It's not helping us anyways. And this makes me passionate because we've been having this debate for the longest time. Also, this debate goes into us being treated unfairly, us being treated less than, we're not getting promotions at work, all this stuff. If they do get rid of it and now it's a seemingly fair playing field, there is no mistake on who deserves what. None. So every time I hear this debate, it's just like, bruh, you're full of it. You don't care for real. This is just for virtue signaling. And I'm not saying this out of nothing. I got 2 degrees. I'm getting one in 4 weeks. I'm not saying this for nothing.
The only reason that somebody is gonna care about you is because I'm here. Was this the person that was giving the speech?
We both did, yeah.
Oh, I only seen you.
Okay.
So what was the speech about specifically? My name is Anton Daniels.
He's a right-wing guy.
Yeah, he's like...
I am. I'm a conservative.
No, yeah.
But here's the thing.
Excuse me a second.
Why am I a Trump ass kisser just because I'm asking questions?
Explain that to me and your family. Don't explain it.
So you know I voted for Trump? How do you know that? Just because when you're intolerant, when you don't have the ability to communicate.
You're not denying it, so I know you did.
So because I'm not denying it.
Right.
So because I'm conservative, that means I voted for Trump? How do you know I voted for Trump just because I'm conservative?
Who cares? Who gives a fuck? You're irrelevant.
Something is very wrong with you, sir. So because that doesn't matter. I got a widescreen camera. It's gonna record everything.
So short that you thought you could get into it.
He automatically labeled me and started calling me out of my name for no reason, and I don't understand that. What makes you think that you guys can make change in a silo? In every movement historically, you've always needed people from the other side to actually work with you, even when it came to the civil rights movement. So if I ask a question because I'm curious and I would like to get additional information, but I'm not.
What it is there's so much going on right now. It's every day we're just being flooded with stuff, tearing down, institutions, should not be torn down,
Like what? If you had to get an example, like what?
Okay, like oh geez, there's so many.
Give me one.
Okay, the USA.
So you think that
Because of
USA?
them tearing that down, there's going to be many, many, many deaths around the world because people aren't going to be getting the medicine they need to save your life.
Correct.
I mean, that's something that we've been doing for decades.
But do you agree that it's a possibility that there was a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse inside of
getting rid of fraud, waste, and abuse, or he'd bring a forensic accountant in there to find it. He's not.
Well, there are
finding
people that are a part of DOJ, the Department of Government Efficiency, that are forensic accountants. They just did an interview recently, and more importantly, they did detail on the DOJ website, doge.gov, of all of the fraud, waste, and abuse that they found, including over at USAID.
That's if you believe what they are saying. If you fact check Elon Musk and Donald Trump,
okay,
nearly everything they say is a lie. I mean, nothing is the truth hardly.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Let's assume.
Before he asks the question, I will say this. The whole premise of what this man is talking about, as well as Anton Daniels in this specific discussion, is that Anton Daniels naturally trusts that Doge would tell you the truth. And this man naturally trusts that Doge will not tell you the truth. For example, Anton Daniels said that Doge reported all the fraud, waste, and abuse, and he also said, and I quote, "You don't believe that there's fraud, waste, and abuse," implying that he believes that Doge would not lie to him. Also, this man said, well, there are a lot of institutions that are being shut down. Look at them. Why don't they have forensic accountants? And he also said, you believe that they're telling us the truth? This goes to show me one thing. They're both the same, just on different sides of the coin when it comes to this specific debate. I'll say this. Don't believe any of what you hear and believe half of what you see. You need to be fact-checking anything when it comes to spreading propaganda if you really want to know, if you really want to make a difference. If you just want to spread information, you don't got to fact-check anything. But if you really want to understand stuff, you need to be fact-checking. And this is not to be against Republicans or for Republicans. It's just the truth. Because if you're just going off of this based off of trust, whether or not you trust Doge or whether or not you don't trust Doge, your trust doesn't matter when it comes to the truth. It doesn't matter if you trust them with your left eye. If they're lying, they're lying. And people that we love and trust lie to us all the time. We all have people in our family who lie to us all the time. So all I'm saying is, when it comes to information, I understand you may be on a side or against a side, but the least you can do for your sake, is actually fact check if what you're hearing is correct or if it's not correct.
For the sake of conversation, that you're 100% right? Why is it the United States of America's responsibility to take care of other things in other countries? It's our taxpayer dollars, right? And it's coming out of my pocket. So why is it our responsibility to ensure that the rest of the world is taken care of, or should they take care of themselves?
They should probably have a bigger part in a lot of things, but you know, our foreign policy is you know, creates peace everywhere. Look,
I'll answer that question. The reason why it's the United States' responsibility is because the United States benefits from taking care of other nations. For example, the United States and Canada's relationship is sort of like this. The United States has a huge military, and it allows Canada to have a pretty mediocre military. And because of this, we have an extremely good trade relationship where they give us trades that they would not give any other nation, such as lumber. The United States doesn't have many lumber mills, and the United States doesn't have a lot of trees relative to Canada. They're the #1 selling lumber in the world, and because we protect them in some senses, they'll give us a lot of deals on trades, allowing America to have surpluses and large amounts of houses being built. So when it comes to this discussion, the reason the United States does it is not to be nice necessarily. It's more so we can benefit from other nations. Even when it comes to Ukraine, the United States being close to Ukraine prior gave us a standing on that territory, and that kind of helped if we had any retaliatory issues against Russia. Nonetheless, he does make a good point, because a lot of these things that we have are kind of unfair trade deals, meaning that we have a super military that doesn't allow any of our allies to get raided or invaded, and what they would give us wouldn't be much in return. Even it was like this group that they had, forgot the name of it. It was like this big group with all the countries. I forgot the name of it. We gave the most money to any other country, and then when Donald Trump got in office, he left it. He left the it's like a conglomerate of countries. He left the group, and they were basically begging the U.S. to come back because we gave so much money to it. All I'm saying is it's kind of like the trades are unfair. Nonetheless, we still do benefit at least some extent when we have partners that we're protecting.
we haven't had.
But shouldn't other people, like for example, we contribute over 85% of the funding that goes into NATO, and other countries don't.
That's the name of it, NATO. I forgot the name of it, NATO. That was the name, NATO.
And then they use that money for their benefit, but we don't get anything out of it as taxpayers. Should we be responsible for that?
You could pick something like that.
Well, it's the same thing with USAID, right?
No.
We fund a lot of propaganda over in other countries in order to indoctrinate them to think how we think. Shouldn't they have their own culture? Shouldn't they have their own ways in which they go about doing things? Or should we meddle in everything that happens overseas?
If you want to be a superpower, you have to meddle in everything. Because when it comes to being a superpower, you want to have world influence. And that's kind of where America is going. If we wanted to just be a nationalist, isolationist country, yes, you shouldn't meddle. But if you want to have world influence and control the world, that's why America meddles, because they want to control everything. They want America to be the pinnacle of world success, no matter where you are. They want America to be the dream. That comes from the phrase American dream. That's why they meddle. However, going into the amount of meddling, such as how much money we give and how much resources we give, that's where it becomes a little questionable. Because why are we paying 85% of NATO? That seems a little strange to me. Nonetheless.
And then justify it by saying that we actually giving them funding.
It's not waste. Of course it's waste. But, you know, a good example is Elon Musk coming out saying people that are 150 years old are getting Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's so ludicrous it isn't funny. And instead of him investigating and seeing that it was a system, COBOL, I think they call it.
Yeah, there was this program with COBOL.
Yeah, and they just put that date down for people that passed away. You know,
So you don't think that that's
they're not getting payments. They're not getting.
well,
payments.
even if they're in the system, you
it's
don't think that that's a problem?
just like the immigrants. They say it's taking our Social Security. They don't get paid Social Security. They put into it, but they don't get paid.
Yeah, but there's no other country in the world that allows for other people to cross their borders illegally. You don't think that we should have closed off borders to where we get people in here legally? What about Lake and Riley? What happened with Lake and Riley and her losing her life? How come people don't acknowledge the fact that there's a lot of crime and the police officers that was being hurt over in New York, and all of the taxpayer money that was being given out in Chicago, and all of the funding that was divested from schools and different communities and sanctuary cities and given to illegal migrants in order to ensure that they were okay? You think that that's logical?
I can't comment on that because I don't know the facts.
No, it's not logical. It's not logical. And that's the problem. You're on a side rather than being right. You're supposed to be right first. Forget the side. You should want to be right, number one. And then your side, I guess, is second or third or whatever. I'm trying to be right. Yes, it's wrong. Illegal immigration, by definition, is wrong. And he's right. Other superpowers in the world do not allow illegal immigration. I dare someone to try to go to that Chinese border. See what happens. I dare someone to try to go to that Russian border. See what happens. Anyways, I'm going to end this here. My name is LFR JoJo, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.